Masood Ahmad. Friends, the Association of Indian Management Schools is always ahead of the challenges and it is taking so many steps to meet the challenges and the expectations of various members, particularly facing responding to various situations, be it national education policy or regulatory framework or pandemic situations. We are always very active. And the Association of Indian Management Schools having a fantastic support system under the guidance of Mr. Venkateshwarlu and his team. I'm sure with that support we are going very ahead of these things. And the Association of Indian Management Schools this year, under the leadership of Professor Sujata Mangaraj Madam, started and initiated the webinar. The first webinar was organized chaired by Professor Sujata Madam. She has moderated the talk of Professor Uday Salanke on e-leadership, de-risking strategy and global business. And the second talk was Professor B. Ramesh from Goa Goa University. And third one, Professor Sarkar from Tejpur University. He spoke on the importance of online education and that to SWAYAM. And the next one is by Professor P. Narayan Reddy on the opportunities and need for developing and establishing balanced regional development. Friends, the second webinar was facilitated by Professor Narayan Reddy Garu, and the resource person for that session was Professor M. Chandrasekhar, CEO and case director of MacLead, New Delhi. And the third session, it is the sixth session, recently facilitated by Professor Apurva Palkar. And the resource persons were Dr. Pendiala Kiranmai and Dr. Tanya Mishra. And that session also went on very well and got a lot of excitement to all the participants who are there on this kind of webinar. Friends, today we are going to have a fantastic session from Professor Muhammad Masood Ahmad. The topic is the health lessons from spirituality, and his talk is divided into three parts. Number one is the scenario that is prevailing in COVID-19. The second dimension is how to stay safe, and the third dimension is how to stay immune with spirituality. Before requesting Professor Masood sir, I would like to introduce the guest of the day. Friends, Professor Masood Ahmad is a teacher and mentor. He is an institution builder. He is an educationist and health strategist. And Professor Muhammad Masood Ahmad holds 5 postgraduate degree programs: MBA, MCom, and MCA Computer Applications, MSc Psychology, and Master of Health Science, that is Public Health, and MPhil. Friends, Professor Masood Ahmad is also professionally associated with, along with AIMS, with ISTD. He was and he is a visiting professor across the world, including the Ivy League institutions. Around 14 guest lectures he has delivered among the top institutions across the world, and 8 guest lectures in the national level premier institutions like ISB and IIM Ahmedabad, and 2 sessions delivered at Civil Services Academy, and 18 sessions held at different universities in the country, and 52 sessions are delivered across the business schools and management institutions in India. Friends, he is also addressing the students and faculty at various engineering colleges, around 17 of them, and 21 medical colleges he has visited and addressed the faculty and students. And 12 degree colleges he has visited and delivered, 5 junior colleges, 12 schools, and 9 government organizations, that is executive development programs like and he has also addressed non-governmental organizations and not-for-profit organizations. And the most important and his pet topic is Know Your Nation. He is very popular among the professionals while he makes a presentation on the Know Your Nation, because I am also one of the witnesses about this program. Around 91 sessions are delivered by him so far, and the Know Your Nation is focusing mostly on four dimensions: education, economy, healthcare, and social and cultural dimensions of the country. I'm sure he is doing fantastic work and contributing to the society in his own way. Friends, we are very happy to have Professor Masood Ahmad sir with us today. He is going to talk about the health lessons or lessons for life from the spirituality. The spirituality can be divided into two parts. That is, number one, sensitivity or attachment to religion or other values that helps a person gaining insights. The second dimension is self-knowledge and a heightened understanding of life. Friends, I know Professor Masood Ahmad can do very well because he is a practical professor. Whatever he says, he does, he practices, and he believes that his presentation should be a great value addition to all the members who are attending either live or off the line. I'm sure you'll enjoy. Now I request Professor Muhammad Masood Ahmad to start his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Prasad Rao. Good morning, everybody. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Sujata Mangarajan, President AIMS, and my coordinator, moderator, Dr. S. Prasad Rao, and I would like to mention two more coordinator. One, Mr. Venkatesh Klu, who is the Executive Secretary, AIMS, and second one, the Technical Coordinator, Mr. Sunil Joshi. It gives me immense pleasure to spare time for this live discussion in association with AIMS Atma and the moderator, as I mentioned, that Prasad Rao. Friends, the topic of the talk, it may be health lessons from spirituality, but we should remember this lecture we are organizing in the context of the spread and effect of coronavirus across the globe. So as Dr. Prasad Rao told that my talk will be divided into three parts. First, I'll be going with that COVID virus, the spread and impact across the globe. What is the current status? Then we'll talk about that how to be safe about this epidemic, and then we'll be linking the spiritual and religious background to maintain the health and how to overcome with this problem, and ultimately we may have few Q&A. Friends, let me start with the first part of the talk, that is the COVID virus 19, the spread and impact across the globe. What is the current scenario? I think, friends, globally we have completed more than 2 months, started with the China, now it is spreaded across 210 countries. If you go to the databases and the reports available, as on today, there are 210 countries got affected, 210 countries. And as on today, 3.4 million individuals got infected. 3.4 million. In India, we say it is 34 lakhs. And the death casualty, it is 2.4 lakh death casualty across the globe. I repeat the figure. It is 3.4 million, 34 lakh infections and 2.4 lakh death casualties, and the total number of countries got affected, it is 210 countries. If you go to the Google search, if you put the question, the total number of countries across the globe, the answer will be 193 countries plus two observing countries. One is Vatican and Palestine. Number will become the total countries 195. But if you watch this epidemic, it is more than 195 countries, it is 210 countries. It means there are few smaller countries in Africa and Europe, they are not part of the UNO, but they got affected. So my point is very simple that the 3.4 million people got affected, but you should also remember that a million people got recovered. 10 lakh people across the globe got recovered. See what happens, most of the time we follow the social media and we follow the newspaper, we follow the local channels, and the picture may not be clear. I'll tell you the picture. Whenever we talk about the epidemic, it is not only the infection rate and mortality, infection rate and death rate. The most important parameter you must remember, that is the mortality rate. And how you are going to calculate the mortality rate? For example, in this 3.4 million infections infected and 1 million got recovered. The total is, it is a 4.4 million, 44 lakh across the globe. And then how many persons died? 2.4 persons died. 2.4 lakh persons died. Then what happens? This mortality rate is 5%. What does mean it? Actually, 100% got affected. 5% is the death rate and 95% they have not died. Fortunately, there is no casualty. This you should remember. And initially, the WHO, in the month of, let us say, the first week of March, they told the mortality rate is 3+%. But what happens after 2 months, the mortality rate has become 5%. It means if 100% got affected, the 5, they are dying, they died, we lost the life. So this is the mortality. As a professor of healthcare management, I would like to quote, this is not the new thing, that from last 1 or 2 years, we were suffering from H1N1. H1N1, the commonly we used to call the swine flu. The swine flu, the mortality rate was 10%. So the issue is swine flu was the more dangerous than COVID virus, but the only issue is the spread. The speed of spread is something different in the COVID virus, that we have to remember. And then if you want to know the actual impact across the globe, then you should have some insights about demographic profile of the world population. What is the demographic profile? Unfortunately, if you see the figures, 2.4 lakh people died. Out of that, I think that more than 60%, it is the North America and the Europe. And Asia, it is the total casualty of Asia, the death casualty is less than 20,000. I would like to specify more specifically. For example, I will tell you, out of 2.4 lakh casualty, the highest number we have, that is USA. The USA, it is 65,000 casualty, you should remember. The USA has got the world's 8% of the population. The world's 8% of the population they have got, but the world's more than 30% of the death casualty they have got in USA. Now let us go to the Europe. The Europe, the total death cases 1,40,000. But you should remember, out of 7.7 billion of population, the Europe, the 44 countries under UNO, and there are 6 more countries which are not recognized by UNO. If you go to the database, there are 50 countries in the Europe and 104 1 lakh 40,000 persons died. But you should remember what is the global population of the Europe. The Europe global population is 10%, and America's global population is 8%. If you add both the figures, 10% and 8%, it will be 18% of the world population. The 18% of the world population, Europe and America, we unfortunately lost 2,05,000 lives out of 2,40,000. So this I wanted to tell you. And incidentally, if you deal with the statistics, sometime you will have the surprise figure. If you add the total population of the Europe and if you add the total population of America, which is the 10% of the global population plus 8% of the global population, the total is 18% of the global population, which has got more than 75% of the infection and death rate. If you want to compare the same population you have in India, the India has got the exactly 18% of the world population. It means the total population of the Europe continent and the North America, it comes to about 1.35 billion. And similarly, India has got 1.35 billion. But what happens here, fortunately for India, it is hardly, as on today, it is 1200 plus death casualties. So I think we should be grateful and we should have the gratitude, but at the same time, the whatever loss we have across the globe, we have to pray for that one. And we have, I think everybody, person like us, we have the concern and care for across the globe. So this is the thing. So now the point what I was telling, see, as an analyst, there are 200 countries got affected with the corona. If you put the countries on descending order, if you put the country on descending order, I will tell you the first 10 countries on the basis of infection and casualty. Out of 10 countries, the first country is America, North America, and the 10th country got most affected and death casualty, that is the South America, Brazil. And in that, you have got the 6 European countries. You have Italy, you have UK, you have Spain, you have France, you have Germany. And out of 10 countries, the highest infection and death casualty, you have got 2 Asian countries. The 2 Asian countries, they are the Iran, and you have got one more, it is the Turkey. So this is the thing. But as I mentioned you, if you list out 210 countries, the most affected continent, it is the North America, number one. And the second one, the most affected country got infected and death casualty, it is the Europe. And the third most affected country or continent, you can say the Australia. It has the less population, but as compared to the population, there is a infection and death casualty. And the fourth number comes, it is the Asia. It is the Asia, but you must remember the Asia has got the world 60% of the population, but it has the casualty about 20,000 death cases in the Asia, where we have the world 60% of the population. So this is the thing. And the last but very importantly, you must remember the Africa has got almost 50 countries got affected, which has got the world's 15% of the population. But if you see there, the death casualties 1700 only, not even 2000 death casualties in Africa continent. So here, so I would like to conclude the scenario. Concluding the scenario, see, because when you make the analysis, the world's highly developed countries, economically, education-wise, and even you can take the Human Development Index. You go by national income, you go by growth, you go by per capita income, you go by Human Development Index. all those countries got affected. Why I am pinpointing this one? The person like us, I think, will have to make the analysis and will have to rethink and redefine the health system. Actually, what is happening? The all developed countries and developing countries, they are suffering a lot, but the underdeveloped countries, the suffering is less than 5%. This I think we have to see it, but I'll talk in the next session regarding this one. So I would like to give one more very important information. On the 18th April, India Today has given the report at global level even for India. The India Today, it is based on CDC. The CDC, Center for Disease Control USA. So they found actually 75% of the death casualties age is more than 60 years. You must remember. 75% of the death casualty more than 60 years persons they died, and 83% of the persons died, they had the comorbidity in the medical sciences. We say these individuals, they had other diseases also. So if you are 60 years, if you have got the comorbidity, and CDC and others reports is there in comorbidity, the patients casualties where we had the medical background, the number one was the cardiac patient, they died fast. And the number two, the diabetic patient, they died fast. And number three, it is the asthma patient, they died. And the number four, it is the oncology cancer patient, they died. So the casualties what we had, the 75%, the age was 60, more than 60 years, and 83% of the death casualty, it is where they had, apart from infected to the coronavirus, they had the various disease, we call it as a comorbidity. This you should remember. And this I would like to conclude this first part and beginning with the second part, and there also I want to tell you something. See, I told you about the continent wise and the total number of infection and total number of death that I have given the scenario. And I told you the aging issue was there. And I told you the comorbidity and all these things. Now let us come to a analysis. What are the reasons? Okay, got infected and death casualty. Because see, last 30 years as a professor of management, 18 years I spent as a professor of healthcare management, working on community health and preventive healthcare. Based on my limited exposure and networking, what I have got at national and international level in healthcare and public health, so we could discuss, and we came to the conclusion, it's not 100% full analysis. This can be further discussed, further argued, and further debated. We identified 4 reasons. The number one reason for infection and death casualty, number one factor was immune system of the individual. The next factor, it is the aging population of that particular country and continent. And third one, it is the frequency of the air traveling of the individuals in the respective country. And the fourth one, it is the density of population that particular country, city and region. So these are the reasons. Now, immune system is the very important factor. And in the analysis what we found, it is a surprising and shocking. The developed countries, the developed populations, and where we have the human development index given by, say, United Nations, UNDP, United Nations Development Program, every year we have the human development index. So the countries which are developed, where the human development index is high, there we have the higher incidence of coronavirus in terms of it is the infection, and in terms of it is the death casualty. Okay. So now, how it happened actually? See, we found that the health system, health infrastructure, and the health of the individuals in the developed countries, it is very, very good. It is above average, very good and exceptional. And underdeveloped countries and developing countries, they do not have the health systems as compared to the developed countries, health infrastructure and the facilities and the health environment. We say the pollution rate, we say the ventilation, sanitation and drinking water facility. But there is something like blessing in disguise. Underdeveloped countries, the health environment was not good. The pollution was more. The ventilation was not good. Sanitation was not good. And the drinking water facility, clean and hygiene water was not available. But the individuals, they were brought up, they lived in that environment, and that immune system set to that environment. So it is something like blessing in disguise. Okay, but unfortunately in the Europe and West, the health systems are there, the health is there, but the immune system is weak. We found these things. And the second one, the aging population. If you go to the search, the top 5 aging countries in the world across the globe, you will get Italy, Spain, Germany, France, China and Japan. They are in top 10. And fortunately, the Asian countries, particularly India, if you go to the census, 2011 census or the current year 2019 and 20 database, what you will find, the 65% of Indian population, they are less than 35 years. And similarly, the 50% of the Indian population, they are less than 25 years. And here we had the advantage in case of aging. Because of that, our number of cases, COVID infection cases is only 37,000 plus. A country of 1.3 billion, the infection is 37,000. And the death casualty, it is 1200 plus. You should remember. And the factor is, it is the immune system and it is the aging. And now the third factor, the spread of coronavirus, not only the infection and death, how it happened, the frequency of the air travel. With our analysis, roughly, it is not research proved and all, roughly, we find the less than 10% of Indians, they go for the air travel. Whereas in the Europe and all the developed economies, you take top 10, top 20, top 50 in the coronavirus infection, there the air travel frequency for the individual, for their citizen, may be 75 to 90%. It means they travel. 75 to 90% they require. It has become the prerequisite. So the spread of coronavirus, the standard case study is Wuhan city, China and the Italy, the European countries, and one of the important factor, the air travel frequency. So this is the thing, and the density of population also in this way, even in Asia also we have the more density, but because of that immune system, because of aging, because of less frequency of air travel, the Asian countries and African countries, number 1, they are saved. Africa is number 1 African continent and Asia is number 2. So this is about I wanted to give the reason, the scenario, and first part it was the scenario that coronavirus, the spread and impact, how it happened, and the second part we were dealing with the factors. The factors, I conclude the second part with saying that these are the factors. Number 1, the immune system across the globe, that is the determinant. And the second one, it is the aging population. Wherever you have the old age population and the middle age population, then we have the problem. But here I want to have one change, one correction also. That is not correction. This first month and first 45 days, the aging issue was there. But what happened after 45 days, after completion of 60 days, even middle-aged people, the young people, they are getting affected. You must remember this change also. And then third one, I told you the air frequency, that is the air travel frequency, that also one of the factor for spreading. And the fourth one, I told it is the density of population, whether it is the continent or the city. But here, one more important takeaway. One more important takeaway in this scenario. What we found, the death casualty, particularly in the Europe and America, as it is already reported, 75% of the death casualties are of the age of more than 60 years. Okay? And 83% I told the comorbidity, means they had existing diseases, health issues, and the number one was cardiac issues. So what I would like to say here, not only for Europe, America, Asia, Africa, all the continents, one hidden factor is there. That hidden factor, I think we must consider. What is that hidden factor? In medical sciences, whether it is the coronavirus or the diabetes or the cardiac or the oncology, whatever disease may be communicable or may not be communicable. So these diseases will have the negative impact because of disease. And there is one more important factor, it is the fear factor of the disease. And we are of the opinion that the more than 60 years of age across the globe, where we had the death casualty, the corona has affected. Corona was the initiator. Corona created the problem. Corona spoiled the health across the globe. But we must remember, it is our psychology. It is our fear. It is our fear factor. And I as a psychologist or person with the medical sciences, anybody he has got some health issue, there will be the negative impact from the disease and the negative impact from the fear factor. In medical sciences, we call it as a psychosomatic disorders. Psychosomatic disorders, they are stress-related disorder. I think now it is our responsibility, person like yourself and myself, we are all we have the responsibility to look after, do the counseling by maintaining the social distance. Do the counseling doesn't mean that you should meet everybody and all, but you have to tell psychologically, spiritually, we should be strong to tackle this epidemic. It is not only the health system, it is not only the treatment, it is there with you also. The with you means you should be psychologically strong, because it is an epidemic. If you give the chance, then it will get affected. But if you don't give the chance, nothing will happen. You should be confident. This is very, very important. The fear factor among the patient, among the normal individual like you and I, even the educated persons, intellectuals, even the person from the medical sciences background and doctors, they are afraid of this one. This is not the time for getting afraid, but we must go for all the precautions across the globe. Because this talk, we are not talking for India or Delhi, Mumbai and Hyderabad. We are talking about the global scenario. This is what. And then now let us go to the third and last part. That is how we are going to maintain our health. Okay, health strongly. How we are going to have it. There are various ways. If you go to the medical sciences, that we have 4-point formula about maintaining your lifestyle. In medical sciences, we say your consumption pattern, food habit, your sleeping habits. Third one, it is your physical activity. The fourth one, it is the stress level. I repeat once again, in medical sciences and in preventive health care, in say wellness, there are 4 lifestyle modification approaches. That is food habit, sleeping habit, physical activity, and the stress level. With this, we can have healthy life. But the most important one is the fourth one, that is the stress level. Now, in order to improve all these 4 factors, more importantly, it is your stress level. We strongly observe that the lifestyle and the more importantly the immune system. If your lifestyle is strong, the immune system will be strong. The God has made us, I repeat, the God has made us, our human anatomy and physiology. He made us for minimum 150 years. We can live for 150 years. The God has made you and I for 150 years. That is the human anatomy and physiology. But unfortunately, right from our birth, directly and indirectly, we are spoiling our lifestyle. We are spoiling our lifestyle because of these 4 factors. Because of that, our expected life, which is built, which is manufactured, which is assembled for 150 years, that has come to 100 years, 90 years, 80 years, 70 years, 60 years, and 50 years. The individual, they can have the conversion and migration of the faith and sleep. So the point what I am telling, as I started my talk, whatever we are discussing about the healthcare, medical sciences and spirituality, based on experience, based on observation. Sometimes experience and observation may be argued, may be debated. There is no perfect science. So now, when I am talking about spirituality, now I will tell you, from last 2 months, myself and few of my colleagues at All Indian Institute of Medical Sciences and other PGI Chandigarh, Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences, Ghani Medical College and other medical colleges, few of my healthcare professional friends, my colleagues, they are in New York and Maryland, John Hopkins, and based on the discussion, we wanted to have something with the spirituality and health status and the impact of coronavirus. What we find, if somebody, any individual from any continent, if he is spiritually strong, if he is religiously strong, he will have the discipline in the life. He will have the order in the life. The discipline and order in the life, it will have the sound health and immune system. Because of that, when I say spirituality, out of 7.7 billion population, the world's 29% of the population, we have the believers of the Christianity. World's 29% for the Christianity. World's 24% of the population, they have the believer of Islam. And 14% of the population, world 14% of the population, believers of Hinduism. And 6% of the world population, believers of Buddhism. And less than 1%, they go for the Judaism. Okay? See here, these are all great religions, great beliefs. And I am the strong believer of the Rig Veda. Rig Veda says, let the knowledge come from all the sides. I repeat, the Rig Veda says, let the knowledge come from all the corners. It may be any spiritual background, it may be any spiritual book, it may be any religious book. So, I go to the Christianity, the Old Testament. In Christianity and Islam, there is some common thing. The messengers of the God. The messengers of the God, there are about 1,25,000 messengers of God. If you go to the Old Testament, take the example of Moses. Moses, he had a speciality among the messengers of the God. I am quoting from the Christianity. What happens though, casually or more frequently, he used to have the discussion and interaction with the gods. Okay? And one day what happened, there was a discussion is going on, interaction is going on between the God and Moses. The God asked the question. God asked the question to the Moses. He asked that, Moses, you are my believed messenger of the God. You are believed messenger for me. You ask me any one wish. You ask me any one demand. I will try to oblige. I will try to fulfill. But the Moses, he was in the great confusion. Because only one thing should be asked and God is going to fulfill and give that one. And the Moses, he was in the dilemma what to ask. And cleverly, Moses put the counter question to the God. What is that? Moses asked the God, suppose if you are in my position, he is putting the counter question to the God. Oh God, if you are there at my end, then what you will ask? Then the God told, suppose if I am at your end, if I am supposed to ask one question, the God told that I shall ask for the health. Remember, the God told to the Moses, the health is number one. The health is very, very important. So this is proved in the Old Testament and Christianity because the health is paramount important. And similarly, if you go to the Hinduism, if you take Hinduism, we have the four Vedas. And Hinduism, we give the paramount importance to the yoga. And from last few years, the yoga and meditation, it has become universal across the globe. The meditation which is invented in India, now it is across the globe. So it has become the global activity. So this meditation and the yoga, as per the Hinduism, okay, and initially there was a lot of debate. When we talk about the yoga and meditation, the religion is not involved. Okay, and we have the great advantage. And in Hinduism, the Hindu scholars, now they want to treat yoga as a fifth Ved. The fifth Ved should be the yoga. So this is the importance of meditation and yoga in Hinduism. So this is very important. And similarly, I can quote few other examples from Hinduism. Let us take the Yuga. And as you know, in the Hindu mythology, there are four yugs. Okay? Satya Yuga, and second one Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And the four yugs, if you try to study carefully, always in every yuga there was a conflict. If you go for the Satya Yuga, there was a conflict between the two universes. Universe was Devalok and Ashralok. Devalok and Ashralok, they used to have the conflict in the Satya Yoga. You take Treta Yoga. Treta Yoga focusing on Ramayana. In Ramayana, what happened? There was a conflict between the two countries. The country belongs to Lord Rama and Ravan. The conflict between the Bharat and Lanka. And the third one, Dapro Yoga, there we have the conflict within the family. Now you see, the first yoga, it is conflict between the universe. The second yoga, Treta Yoga, it is conflict between two countries. And the third one, it is the conflict within the family, that is focusing on Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, what happened? The Kauravas and Pandavas, they had the conflict. Okay? And the last one I wanted to pinpoint, that is the Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, it is the focus, it is the individual and the human being and the self. In the Kali Yuga, we say it is the conflict within yourself. What is it actually? Here, the ego is the biggest enemy in the Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, because of the self-ego, everybody has got the ego and that has become the enemy. So in spirituality, in Kali Yuga, we say enemy within. So what happens? Because you have the ego, highest level of ego, you have the enemy within. So you are not supposed to fight with others. It is not your family and country. You will have to fight with yourself. So if you are spiritually sound, if you are religiously sound, then you cannot live with the ego. Once you have the ego at the highest level, and then the stress level is also at highest level. So I can conclude this mythology and spirituality that higher the ego and higher will be the stress level. So if you want to make the life simple, okay, brought down the ego to the ground level and believe in meditation, believe in yoga, believe in physical activity, and then you will be spiritually strong and your lifestyle will be strong, your immune system will be strong. If you have the Karuna type viruses, then what happens? It will not get affected because your immune system is very high and your lifestyle is very high. So this is the reason. And the last one or two examples I can take from the Islam, because we are talking about the spirituality, that the great religion like Christianity, Hinduism and Islam and others also we have got. The others, the Jainism you can take. The Jainism has got the complete protocol. Jainism has got the complete protocol. In management jargon, we can call it as a SOP. The consumption pattern. How to consume, what to consume, what not to consume. And the Jainism is the great religion which has got the great value for the environment. Their focus, it is the environment. Their focus, it is the food and consumption pattern. And their focus, not harming others. Leave about the human being, even other beings also, they are not supposed to damage them and destroy them. This is about the Jainism. And Sikhism also and other religions, because the time is constrained, I will conclude this spirituality with the last religion, it is the Islam. 1400 years ago, the Prophet Muhammad, he defined how to maintain the health. He has given the simple fingertips. He told, divide your stomach into 3 parts. One part will be the food, solid food. What do you take, depending upon your background and your hobby. First part is the food. Second part, it is the water. And third part, it should be empty. Because when you breathe, there should be the proper circulation. And always 25% of your stomach, 33% of the stomach should be empty. So if we follow, divide the stomach into 3 parts, one is solid food, one is liquid, and one is vacant. then we'll have the healthy life. And there are few other things. One more thing I can share: when you are drinking the water, he told that mentioned that you should sit and drink the water. When you are taking the glass of water or you are taking the bottle water, then what happens? That when you take a glass of water, you should have the 2 breaks in between. Because when the water get in, there should not be continuous flow. There should be minimum 2 breaks. So take the glass of water with a 2 break. So what I am telling, as I've told you, I am the strong believer of the Rig Veda. The Rig Veda says, let the knowledge come from all the sides. So whatever great teachings we have in the different religions and different beliefs, I think person like us, intellectuals, we should take the advantage of these teachings, these principles, which will be helpful for the mankind, and more importantly, it is for your lifestyle, it is for your health, and it is for your immune system. So these are the things we have for today's talk. That is that, as I've told you, that today's talk we started with the coronavirus status, the global and national, and the second one, what are the factors? The factors also we discussed thoroughly, and then the last one, the spiritual part. The spiritual part, if you are spiritually strong, religiously strong, you will have a standard discipline, the standard protocol, standard order, the standard discipline, standard order in your lifestyle. It will bring the sound health and wellness, and it will also help for sound immune system and can avoid the problem. So friends and my moderator, Professor Prasad Rao ji,
Now should I? Yeah.
I have concluded. Now it's open. Up to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Professor Masood sir. Thank you very much, Professor Masood.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, really, it's a wonderful session, and we have got fantastic, support or response from the listened in management education, Professor Pratap Reddy sir, and to the youngest professors in management education, Mr. Sudhakar is there from IIT Basra. There are some questions, and Pratap Reddy sir, instead of questions, I could say the concerns. Pratap Reddy sir has expressed some concerns. I wish to ask you, sir. Please respond to the concerns raised by Pratap Reddy sir. Number one, almost all the questions pertaining to the same, concerns, and finally he made a very good point. Dear Professor Masood, rightly quoted Rig Veda and so and so. Kindly explain, Masood sir, the question to you is, please explain how Tablighi is in sync with spirituality.
I think that, as I told you,
Sir.
as I've already told you about the Rig Veda, let the knowledge come from all the. But when you are talking about effect of coronavirus, if somebody is getting affected, that virus doesn't have the common sense.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The virus will not recognize if you have what religion you have. Okay? And the virus will not be for the power of the God. Whether it is a Tablighi or not, it is a Jamaat or it is a religion, it is a no religion. There are some irrespective of religious belief. What are those? See, I am not going into the details of explaining this question. I will explain.
Okay,
The
sir.
disease is got in two parts, communicable, non-communicable. This is a communicable disease. It will transmit from one person to another person. The social distancing is very, very important for everybody. Whatever may be the faith, whether it is tablighi, non-tablighi, believer or non-believer, social distance is required at global level. There is no in Kolkata. This is the simple answer we can give. Dr. Pratap Reddy told it to me, and we can have the details.
Yeah, the second question raised by one more management professional, Mr. Sudhakar. He is asking, what is the the affected rate, by the end of this May? Do you have any statistics like that? He is asking.
Yeah. We already mentioned to go to the Google search and quote it. The death and disease of coronavirus. Will get a report published on 18th April in India Today. What it is mentioned, the 75% of the death rate across the globe, the patient and the 8% for India, 50% of the death cases over more than 100 years. As I told you, first 30 days, 90% of the deaths were happening more than 60 years. But after first year to second year,
Two different things we cannot equate. Interpretation of Vedas are political but not spiritual. Like that, he is supplementing with his Gyan sir.
I agree, he is a great friend of mine, Narayan Reddy, and I expect that he has got the good knowledge about religion. But the simple thing is, if you look for Britannica dictionary, or you go to the dictionary, spirituality ultimately is the line of belief. Whether you have the belief or you have something, and you can put the difference religion. The spirituality, it is micro level. It is you and I. It is the self. It is the internal soul. And religion is at macro level. It is the system of things. And one more clue I can give, because if you do research, what type of spirituality? Go for this one. Type of spirituality. What do you mean? The types of spirituality, you will get different things. You will get the Christianity, you will get the Hinduism, you will get the Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, all these things. Okay? Spirituality and religion is different. The difference is individual talk about the individual, okay, and religion will talk at macro level, and ultimately spirituality will reach the belief. We get to it, and as I've told you, these are the highly critical issues. And have the debate
Sir, one more concern raised by Professor Panchanatham. He is asking, should we take water before food or after taking food? Water taking, consumption of water.
Yes. Actually, this taking water as spiritual agro. Okay? And most of the spirituality, I can quote, including the it says, if you want to take the water, it's minimum 30 minutes before. If you want to take the water the food. It is after 30 minutes of food. Exception. Even someone like me, if I started taking or throw get distracted, but the limit on take. So from the health point of view, particularly from the digestion point of view, consider the spirituality and the medical sciences. We take water, to take. There is major loss, but that will of that food. This is the thanks to close of mind.
Sir, Professor Pratap Reddy sir has 3 more questions in line. Can I post it to you directly so that you can respond to them, or you would like to respond here itself?
As I told you, he's the elder, he's the Bhishma Pitama.
Yeah.
So I would like to
Okay. He was saying, very, very important 3 questions he raised. Should I ask now?
Yeah, whatever you want. Available.
Yeah, he is saying again yes sir, around 10,000 plus.
Please, you can
Yeah, that's right. Yes sir, around 10,000 plus devotees attended this Tablighi Jamaat congregated in Malaysia in February 2020 during 27th of February, something like that. So knowing so many contracted COVID at the above meeting, why and how 5,000 plus attended Markaz New Delhi on March 25th?
Yes.
That is the concern.
I think this is a very important question, and I think the place. See, whether public Jamaat or any Jamaat as a whole, whatever lies there, now the line. Okay? Whether it is okay? Now the total conclusion is our Honorable Prime Minister
No medicine to cure this pandemic, but we have the medicine only to prevent it. So let us prevent this for some more time till we get the medicine to cure this pandemic type of situations. Thank you all once again. Thank you the Secretariat AIMS, Venkateshwar and his team, and Mr. Sunil and all the members. Happy weekend and stay blessed. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad Rao, moderator of the session, and thanks to Dr. Sujata Mukherjee.